what are we talking about today? We're talking about dogs, misconceptions, misconceptions. Yes, misconceptions in the kennels, big
Personalities,
personalities.
circumstances, dynamics.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Well, actually, shall I just say the reason why I just said this actually in my thing to you, in my message to you just a moment ago in WhatsApp was because I was just rolling my marshmallows as you do,
Love.
and as I normally do, cooking and stuff like that, I'm normally listening to something, and it's a guy, and if you haven't seen him, he's pretty good to be fair. I think his name's Rocky, and it's called, and I'm sure it's called Sitting with Dogs, and
Ah.
he sits in kennels. He sits in the kennels in the
Oh,
shelters.
that's nice.
And he's actually got the microphones. You know, when you said about you've got the noise cancelling
Yeah.
microphones, you could cancel the background. So he's actually got them. But once he turned it off, you could hear the volume of
Oh.
dogs. Anyway, so that will obviously heighten situations. However, I was just watching him as I was rolling the marshmallows, and he was with a really, really aggressive, what looks like a little Maltese, tiny,
Yeah.
tiny, tiny, and basically no one could get near it. It was matted to whatever. It was really, really bad condition, and basically he was in there, and he tried to take it out, and it went to go and bite him. So he retrieved, just opened, and he calls it now standing with dogs because he couldn't obviously get in the kennel because it was a crate up in the air kind of thing, and he couldn't get to it. And within 5 minutes of just opening the door and just standing there, then the dog started coming towards him and using the nose.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? Like, because at first, and on his actual sheet that they go in with, it had XOXO, which is not kiss and cuddle, that is warning. So,
Oh, okay.
warning, he bites. So it was all in red
Oh.
letters, warning, he bites. So no one's been allowed to go near him. The staff can't get near him. They can't. They will have to medically sedate him to even groom him. He's that bad. Yeah. So anyway, but as I was watching this, I was thinking within 5 minutes, just giving that dog a little bit of time enabled that dog to just come out of that such heightened zone of
Mm.
panic, anxiety,
Yeah.
fear,
Yeah.
to kind of to calming down on a different level. Not so much, but a little bit. Within 10 minutes, again, another level down. So what we were saying was, you can see within a heightened situation, you can see how
Mm.
these things can be misconstrued, and going by what the staff have actually said isn't
Yeah.
always the best perception of that dog or best description of that dog, because out of a kennel, a dog could be light and day.
Completely different. Yeah, they are. They are completely different. And I
Mm,
know that we picked up one once as a trial.
mm,
And
mm,
do you remember?
mm.
And
Yes.
we picked him up. He was absolutely like exactly like that, reactive. He was barking at people. He was
Mm,
barking at
mm,
dogs. So it's like, right,
mm.
we went in two separate cars. We put him in one of the cars, and obviously we had to meet the two dogs to start with.
Yeah.
We took both cars to be fully equipped, and we drove him back just to see how he was.
Yeah.
And when when we got him,
Yeah. I remember.
we got him relaxed, got him chilled out, just kept walking. I would say about 15 minutes after the walk, he was coming across people and coming across dogs, and there was absolutely no reactivity whatsoever.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
only reason why we could not take him in on the trial
Cats, wasn't it?
was the cats. Now,
Mm,
that's not to say you cannot adopt a dog because of cats. My situation was where cats just free roam,
mm,
they're out in the
mm.
garden all the time. You can't stop them from going where they need to go.
Very prey driven, isn't
Don't
it?
get me wrong,
Yeah.
I could put big baby gates up to get him used to the cats and do the whole induction thing. But
Yeah.
it's the thing when you're going out in the garden, if it so
Mm,
happens, obviously you could take him out a long line, leave in the garden and do all this business. But if something happened where you weren't
yeah.
quite full and that dog got to the cat, it
Yeah.
I could see it wasn't just a reaction that it wanted to chase the cat. It wanted to probably do something quite drastic to the cat. How
Yeah.
that was going off on a tangent, but it goes to show that dog actually got rehomed anyway, by the way. But it goes to show that these dogs react completely different outside of the kennel because, like you
Yeah,
said,
definitely.
fear, it's the anxiety. They've got all them dogs around them. You hear,
Yeah, it's the barking, isn't it? It's the barking. It's such a heightened, like it's like even now, right? If a dog barks across the road, Buddy's ears will pick
yeah,
up. Like, oh, what's going on over there?
yeah,
And I've got a dog behind me. I've got a German Shepherd behind me, um, who is quite vocal. And even when he starts, I mean when he starts, like, because he can be locked in the garden. When he starts, Buddy's like looking around, like, what's going on? So can you imagine? That's like a bunch of houses over there. So like, yeah, probably about 400 feet back.
yeah.
So it's a very, and the sensation on their ears must be, gosh, it must be so overstimulating. I can't imagine.
And not only that, I remember one of the kennels I went in. I don't know if I told you this, Joe. It was horrific. I don't know what they cleaned the floors with. So this is also what can happen that makes them extra anxious. But when we went in to see one of the dogs,
Mm,
his pads had actually been burnt by the chemicals that were cleaning the floor with. The
no,
cleaner hadn't diluted it properly.
no,
We had an anxious dog now with sore paws.
licking. Then that can become obsessive.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
you're dealing with obsessions
yeah,
because it's then they will then associate that with stress.
yeah,
So whenever they're stressed,
yeah,
it's a,
yeah,
yeah, oh
yeah.
gosh, it's crazy, isn't it?
Just,
Oh,
it's a sorry state of affairs. It's terrible. But
yeah.
basically, what people need to do is rather than just go and observe them in the kennels,
Mm.
try and get them out.
Yeah, getting them out for a walk, get them out in the garden, whatever they've got, and
Yeah,
spend some time with that dog. Yeah.
they do normally. To be fair, they do normally have people there that will take them out and handle them for you
Mm,
and walk with you.
yeah.
Um, but I would strongly recommend doing that first before just looking
Mm,
for cage doors, judging on that experience to then get
that's
in.
not good. Yeah. The thing is, though, dare I say, people don't look at. See, this is another, and I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent now, but this is
I
the
always do.
kind of thing that we always do. Everyone gets used to it. The thing is, though, as well, there's that side of things like, oh, that looks like a cute dog,
Yeah,
not the energy, not the working breed, not the, like, really. So, say for instance, you've got a nice little Pomeranian in there, all fluffy, it's all, and you think, oh, I've got kids, that's good.
yeah.
Um, but 9 times out of 10, Pomeranians are quite, not a difficult breed, but they're quite, what's the word I'm looking for here? They're quite barky and they're quite, I'm not saying this of
They're very
all
territorial.
Pomeranians.
They're very resourceful.
Territorial, yeah, resource guarding, yeah, as well. They're very, yeah, so I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Not difficult, challenging, maybe?
Yeah.
A challenging,
The first,
challenging. They're not a first dog owner. They're just
yeah,
not. They're not.
yeah,
So, so that's what I'm saying is that people will go with, oh, that looks nice.
yeah,
That looks like a nice dog. That looks cute, rather than actually bringing those dogs out and going with like the one that will suit your family,
yeah,
the one that matches your energy as well. Because if you've got as well a very like you're always out, you go hiking, you're an outdoorsy kind of type of person, and then they get like a Frenchie or a bulldog or Shih Tzus, or that's not gonna, because it looks cute in a kennel, that's not gonna go with the family. It's not
no,
gonna mix.
mm,
So you need something that goes with the energy types.
yeah,
If you're quite not highly strong family, but if you're quite,
yeah.
energetic family, you need like more of a dog that's going to be able to keep up with
Keep
you
up with that.
versus,
Yeah,
yeah, versus like, oh, that looks cute. Do you see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like people go for the cuteness factor rather than the
They
actual one
do.
that's going to
And
work well within the
you
family.
pointing that out is so true because
Mm,
also families that are really energetic, and I don't mean the way of hiking, sports, or anything like that, but you can get a really high energy family where everything's manic. In that circumstance, you probably won't pick a manic dog, like a high dog, because it's just going to make it go through the roof.
It's going to,
it's going to escalate into something and, you know, possibly aggressive.
Problems. Yeah. Reactivity, problems. Yeah, 100%, because it's feeding off of the energy. Yeah.
Pick a dog with a lower energy so that it can cope with that kind of environment.
Yeah.
So it really is what we always talk about, personalities, and matching that particular breed to your personality and matching yourselves to the breed as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, I had to pick Buddy over Zoom because it was COVID. Yeah. I mean, he's 4 tomorrow. And I remember watching over. Are you going to pick a dog? You've come up on my screen and I've disappeared. Yes, you've gone. I've disappeared. Are you there? That's really weird.
I'm here.
That's really weird. You then popped on my screen and now I've disappeared from the screen completely. Anyway, moving on with these difficulties that we're having. So I had to pick Buddy over Zoom, and Scott was like, how are you going to pick a dog over Zoom? But because I knew what I was looking for this time, whereas with my Akita, Winnie was like, oh, I love him. It was very much like the cuteness factor. Obviously, puppies are all cute. We all love puppies. But with this time, because of the kind of the training that I'd done, looking at behaviour, I was actually able to pick a dog that suited our family.
Yeah.
Buddy's very chilled. I'm chilled. Yeah. Scott and Daisy are not so chilled, but it works. Yeah, it works. But with our family, I wanted a dog that I knew was going to be calm. He was going to be around kids all the time. So I needed to make sure that we had a dog that wasn't like a dominant dog. He was quite run-of-the-mill, like in the middle of the pack sort of dog. Yeah. He's not one that's submissive, but he's also not dominant. So he'll back up stuff, but he won't start stuff. So that's what I was looking for. And I was watching him in the pack with his mum. Like all the others were like play fighting and there was one particular one that kept on going on top of his like sisters and siblings and like pinning them, and I was like, no, he's the dominant one, don't want that one. And then I was like, because you're looking for the hierarchy. And then I saw Buddy and he was like with his mum, and he was like, then he was sniffing the floor, then he was going into the pack, seeing what they were doing. He was a bit like, no, I don't want any beef. Don't want any beef. Yeah, that's all right. Like, I don't mind you playing, but I don't want to be pinned. Yeah. He was like that kind of character. And I thought, actually, and I said, can you just follow that dog around? So I made them follow the dog around in their garden for like about an hour. And they were like, you? And I was like, I have to make sure I make the right decision. Like, I have to make sure. So I was going between him and another one, and it was a girl. I'd never had a girl. And I was like, I just kept looking at her, and I was looking at him, and I was like, no, him. No, definitely him. Yeah. And Scott was like, how do you know? Because I just watched the behaviour. So, yeah, and even over Zoom, I could just see what he was going to be like. And he is what I've expected him to be like. He is chilled. He isn't like, is he? He's not excitable in any way. He can get excited, of course. But, I mean, he was in the trampoline earlier. Do you know what I mean? But it's like he's not, do you know what I mean? He's not with the children. Bouncing around having fun, but it's in a controlled manner. Once I say get out, you've had enough, he's out. Very, very like, okay, mum, hear you, I'm coming. Do you know what I mean? So it is matching it with your family. It's very, very important that the personalities, the energies is taken into the mix when you're picking a pup or a dog in a kennel.
Absolutely.
100%.
And then that going down to so I named this video personalities, dynamics, and the circumstances would be the kennels. Dynamics would be anything changing in the family. So if there's a messy divorce, if there's a new child come into the mix, if you've had a sibling dog that's died, any form change of dynamics is going to change that dog's personality all over again. When I say personality, it's
well, it's picking up on your energy, isn't it? So what it's essentially doing, it's basically picking up on the energy in the house, the atmosphere. You know, we've always said it, haven't we?
Yeah.
You walk into a room, you know when someone's had an argument. You know.
Absolutely.
You walk into a room, you can feel it, it's palpable. You think, all right, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? No beef, everyone. What's going on? You've had a domestic.
Yeah.
We all know. We all know. So it's the same with a dog.
Yeah.
Because of the way that they communicate.
Yeah. So it's like, for instance, like when we lost Kaiser,
yeah.
Zeus was in a really good place with Kaiser. So
yeah.
And he was only
much
young,
more confident.
Yeah. He started off with no confidence. He was in a really bad way. He had really bad chronic diarrhea.
How old was he? Was he about 3 months when you picked him up?
He was 4.5 months.
Right.
And he went from the kennel of the breeder, and they couldn't sell him because he was run. He then went from cage to cage, so he went straight into another kennel. So he spent his 4.5 months of his life just in a cage. So even 4.5 months, they're the key times when he should have been learning, socialising, being love, and all these different things. He wasn't. He spent 4.5 months in a cage. So obviously when Kaiser, bless him, Kaiser was the mediator, as you know. He was the one make another dog feel confident, make sure there's no threat, make sure that he's
the protector of the pack, weren't he?
Yeah.
When you're looking at what we looked at it the other day, didn't we? And we were saying, oh my gosh, because we didn't realise like how far Zeus had been, and also the difference. Like the beginning of the pack walk when we went out, the difference in him, and then looking at old video footage, you could see Kaiser was the protector, couldn't you?
Protector.
100%.
So of course, when Kaiser passed away, Zeus reverted right back to that lost little puppy again. You know, that damaged puppy. So then we're having to rebuild that all again because he's lost his protector. He's lost his.
The hierarchy's changed, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm trying to
train.
Can you hear me?
Have you gone again?
A couple of times that's happened with me.
That's very weird. But yeah, so the dynamics have changed though, hasn't it? But the thing is with him, he's lost. It's the hierarchy. So as we've always discussed, there's a hierarchy. Doesn't matter that the owners of the pack leaders, there's still a hierarchy within those dogs' packs. So when you remove, it's like a piece of puzzle. When you remove that piece of puzzle, it doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
You have to bring in something else, or you have to then install something, or start again. But it's quite, you don't realise it's actually happening, and then they're picking up on the atmosphere because obviously they're. Am I back on again?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're back on.
Yeah, I've just changed it to 4G. Go on.
Right, good shout. But yeah, so that goes to show the dynamics completely change. So then we tried to get have got his confidence back up, and then obviously we've got Sabre in the mix, 11-month-old puppy. There we go again. The dynamics have changed again. So it's constantly, what I'm trying to say to everyone out there, what we're trying to say to everyone out there, is dog training is not just about, okay, with, your dog's trained, that's it now. That's it. It's not. We're here to support, particularly with these one-to-ones, that we're there to support every single milestone like that. There be a change in dynamics or circumstances.
Well, it's also, I mean, even one of our, I'm sure she won't mind it saying, I'm not going to say her name, but one of the ladies that joins us on our pack walks, she was saying to me, I think, was it last week? I can't remember, but she was saying to me how, I said to her, what's changed in your pack for your dog to be like this? Like, what's changed?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, this has happened. And I went, right, but how has that made you feel? Yeah. And she said, I lost my confidence. Right, there you go. So if you've lost your confidence, right, a dog is going to step in because they go, you ain't confident leader. I'm stepping in.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to get issues, because that's when a placid dog can become reactive.
Yeah.
Because if they think, well, they're being complacent, they're not protecting the pack, they're being useless, I've got to step up. That's where you get this really, really confused dog state. When a dog's confused and they think they're the leader, you're going to have a myriad of problems on there. You're going to have so many things, and it can start with, being reactive. It can start with resource guarding. It can start with obsessive behaviours, separation anxiety. It can start with tiny, tiny little minuscule things that you don't even see, like going through a door first. Most people wouldn't even bat an eyelid at that. It will start. They'll start testing you. Then the boundaries and limitations won't be there. Then soon you'll have a dog that's jumping on your head or barking for treat, barking for its food, barking for you to get out of bed, which a lot of people think is hilarious. I've seen so many people that go, oh, isn't it funny? My dog, when he barks in the morning, he tells me to get out of bed, and I'm thinking, what?
No.
Your dog should not be telling you when to get out of bed. You tell yourself when you're getting out of bed. I had one lady tell me that her dog would bark at her to get out of bed, and if she didn't get out of bed, it would start nipping her.
Ooh.
So, but that was funny. Well, it's not funny, because if that turns around to be a child, that's not funny anymore.
No.
So these are the subtle little changes that you should be going, oh, my dog does that. Oh, okay. And it can start in various places, in the house, outside the house, with people coming to the door, with not people coming to the door, barking incessantly, whatever it is, you'll see the changes. It will be quite subtle at first, and then it will start kicking in. But it's them being confused because you've not stepped up as a leader. And it will start when something's happened. And it can be as little as you losing your job, you've lost your confidence. You being pushed out of a job or sacked from a job and losing your confidence. It can be that simple for a dog to then change the dynamics of that whole pack.
Yeah. And people seem to think that, I know I've discussed it before, but like you say, it's cute, the dog jumping on the bed, the dog barking for her to get out of bed. But they think, it's really weird, because a human's concept of what an animal likes is night and day. If you don't know what you're talking about. So basically, by thinking, oh, but the dog really likes to do that, it really finds it fun. No, that dog would prefer a balanced household where he has rules, boundaries, and limitations. That's what he would feel more confident. He would feel happier.
Yeah.
And I think people have this concept that if a dog is old, it's happy. The dog that's the most happiest is the chilled out one that's like, I know my owner has got my back. I feel totally at ease. I feel totally confident. That's the dog that's the happiest dog. But
oh, yeah.
people don't see that, do they?
No. And I think it's funny, really, because you'll see a dog like, I mean, you can't even see Buddy at the moment. I don't know if you can see. If I move this camera, can you see him? Can you see? That's what you want.
Yeah.
A dog that's just chilling on his cool mat. He ain't got a care in the world, that dog. That's what I want.
They're happy. Even mine, even Sailor being 11 months old, he's high energy before he goes out, and I do the whole thing of making him sit and wait just to calm him down. I want to take him out on a level 0, not on a level 10. So I get him chilled out. He has his fun on his walk, and then when he comes back, you won't hear a peep from him. Unless just after dinner time. You know, after dinner time, it's that time of play. As soon as I've had a little bit of dinner, it's like playtime.
Twilight zone starts. They'll start running around.
And have a little
zoomies.
Yeah, but that's not
always the same.
And that's acceptable. But
I even witnessed that when I went in Cape Verde. When I went to Cape Verde, there was a load of stray dogs on the beach. I actually witnessed the same thing.
Funny,
and it was very funny. It was very funny because I always thought, isn't it weird how dogs always do that? And I thought, well, whatever. And I still had my Winnie at the time, because he used to do the same thing. You nothing hear from him. You'd hear nothing from him after his walk, and then all of a sudden dinner time, and then it'd be like, throwing balls and running around the garden, and he wanted. But Winnie was like, what's the word? He liked the rough and tumble. He loved to rough and tumble, that kind of play. And we'd have every night we'd have that, and I'd be like, isn't it funny how he does that? And then over the years, I was thinking, maybe it's just a dog thing. And I witnessed it when we went to Cape Verde. They all started playing on the beach. They all started running around. Because after they've had the dinner, it was all about 7 o'clock, and they all were running around zoomies. They were all playing with each other in the beach, in the sand, digging. It was funny to watch.
It was brilliant. Literally, even though we've got these very cute things in our homes, they are exactly the same as that street dog.
100%. Yeah, just less pampered.
Just pampered instead.
Our dogs are pampered. They're less pampered. Yeah, 100%. street dogs don't have any problems with hierarchy. They don't have any problems learning who the leader is. They get told very quickly.
Yeah. So that's covered circumstance. So we covered circumstances and personalities. Personality.
Yeah. Personalities.
Yeah. So
circumstances.
on with the personalities, in the fact of our training, our one-to-one training. Now, one-to-one training, it helps for the owner that's having problems with whatever it be. It's us tailoring it, the training, the tools of the training to the personality. And this is where we come in to suss that personality out. It's not always easy to see if you don't know what you're looking for. You need to suss out that, the circumstances again. So this is why I talk about circumstances, personality, and dynamics. So when we come round, we're checking out the circumstances, and that is the general home
what's happened. Yeah. What's going on?
Then we
have a chat.
Dynamics. How do the people behave to each other? How they behave towards the dog? And then we check out the personality of the dog. So it's a whole mixture of three things that we work together with and work out what's going to work for the people and, more importantly, the dogs. So I mean, I know with Sabre, I tried all different types of training tools with him. I was thinking, not quite, he's not quite listening. And then you mentioned, she was like, have you tried the clicker? And I thought, oh my goodness, that's the last thing I hadn't tried. So I tried the clicker with the liver treat, absolutely smashed it. Yeah. So it goes, every dog's got a different personality.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes them listen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also, because we've had so many different dogs and different personalities, we can safely say, you with multiple dogs, obviously, as well, you're dealing with multiple personalities. Not you, that sounds really weird. But you, as a dog owner, she's got, I wouldn't work with her, she's got multiple, she's weird. Multiple personalities going on there. But because you're working with multiple personalities in the dogs, you've had to tailor things. So like with Zeusy, obviously, we've seen the anxiety, we've seen the dynamics change. And from when we first took him out to now, I mean, last week, he's still got a muzzle on because we're still working with him. But the difference in him, you could see he was happy. He was relaxed. Yeah. We know that a lead is reactive. We know that with him, he needs space. Yeah. He needs that space. And he's absolutely fine with the right dog. With Buddy, he was in the sea with Buddy. Yeah. He was, they were fine together. And they were always fine. Obviously, they hadn't seen each other for a while, and then obviously got Sabre. So the dynamics changed again. But this is what I'm saying. With us coming into the home, it makes so much more sense because we can get to the nitty gritty of what's actually happened. Like when I was just talking about that lady and what Sue was talking about with Kaiser dying, dynamics change, things change, hierarchies change, boundaries, limitations start changing. You might well be ill and you've been lax and the dog takes over. It's those simple that you don't even think would make a difference or would play any, why would that make a difference? But it does. It makes a huge difference to them because they're looking for a leader. And if you're not stepping up to be that leader, that's when you have the issues. Yeah. So us coming in, we really get to the bottom of what's going on, what's happened, what are the issues that the dog's displaying, and then we can get the whole picture. And by getting the whole picture, because you'll see a lot of people, they just go in, they go, oh, my dog's just pulling. It's never just my dog's pulling. Yeah. That's never just a thing. That's the actual cause. Yes. That's the effect of what's going on in the house or how you started to walk, or, there's going to be more things that are underneath that.
Of what is making them do that?
Always. It's not just, it's the onion, it's the layers. There's always something. So you'll see all these lovely training videos of people just, oh, this is what you need to do with the dog pulling. And yeah, of course, we've done those as well. But it goes so much further deeper when you're actually with someone. Yeah. And the difference that we've seen just by talking to people, going even on our free pack walks and explaining these things, what we're explaining now, it just makes so much difference in their lives. You can see you can see the difference in them, even coming to the free pack walks.
Yeah.
So imagine if you have, and you're having an awful time with your dog. You've come for a free pack walk, and then you've got a one-to-one. Imagine the difference you could have in that dog.
Yeah.
Imagine how you would feel, how confident, how amazing you would feel knowing that you're in charge of this. You've got this dog now trusts you, and
Yeah.
you've got those tools, those training, the resources.
Yeah.
And don't forget, with our training, our one-to-one training, this is lifetime access to us.
Yeah.
We won't ever not leave you,
Yeah.
because we want to make sure our whole mission is to not just empower you as an owner, but leave you with the right tools,
Yeah.
the right resources. We won't just go, right, there you go, we're done, see you later.
Which
No,
most places do.
we want to make sure that we leave you and you are okay, that you're confident in everything that we're telling you to do. And if you've ever got another issue, a dynamic comes up, you can message us and we will be there for you.
And that takes me back to when what I commented about on your comment, because you was talking about your dog training when it first happened with Winnie, and it reminded me of my first experience of going on the dog training journey. When we had, a lot of people will probably know him, the beloved Don Blackwell.
Blackwell, I was going to say it's Black something, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, it was amazing.
He was from Benfleet. That guy, let me tell you, I can't say enough about him. He was a true pack leader. He was.
And Diane, because do you remember the story was you worked with Don, didn't you? But I worked with Diane, so it's weird. And years later, we didn't know this at the time, but she knew Winnie.
Yeah.
So she used to train Winnie, and this was when Don had just died. So Diane and Don used to work together. So Sue obviously knew. Sue's got training through Don. Diane was training Winnie because she used to do the agility, the puppy classes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that when we come back together, we was talking to them. We was talking about them, weren't we?
It's so weird how it all works, and that's how we kind of come together and start talking about it and everything else. But Don always prided himself on he went in your home. He went in your home. He looked at what was going on. He looked at the dynamics. He come out walking with me. He was and he was a top guy, and his results were fantastic, and so passionate about it. And I think that's kind of the place where we're coming from now. We're like, look, we don't just want to be one of these online fantasists that, we want to show these great results online, but really in hindsight, in real life, it's not really the truth. We're there because we're saying, okay, yeah, we do put our videos online, but we are there for support in person,
100%.
helping you out. And if something goes wrong, we're going to put it right for you. We're going to be there until it gets right. And not only that, but also we like to show footage of where it does go wrong. I mean, you probably see on the clicker training that.
Oh, that was brilliant. I loved that. I absolutely loved that. That was brilliant. I even showed Daisy. I was like, look at this, because it just shows these are dogs. It's consistency. Yeah. When we come into your home, right, it isn't just a, right, hi, we're here, bye, we're leaving you. It is a lifestyle change. We will tell you things and you'll be like, what, really? But it all works. We are 100% confident in our abilities.
100%.
We've got so much experience in this. I mean, we've honestly, the things that you're going through, we've been there. We've done it. We've got the T-shirt. I can assure you that we've witnessed, had it done happen to us 100%.
Yeah.
So we are 100% confident that we can help you in the home and come out of that knowing that you're going to be, it's going to be night and day, 100%.
Absolutely, that's guaranteed. We can actually guarantee that. On the guarantee though, however, on the guarantee that obviously we know that our training methods work. We know that 110%. We know if the human sticks by what we say, if the human is consistent by what we say, repetitive in what we say, and keeps doing it every single day. So, we're working with you as the human. We're not working with the dog, we're working with the human. And if the human literally follows us, we'll have a checklist of what they need to do. If they follow us, as we say, they will, not if, will change situation and the job.
It will be completely different.
Yeah.
From the dogs that you had, it will be the dog that you want. It will be, oh wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But only if you're doing what we say you're doing.
Exactly.
Because it will take one little thing, oh, it's all right. We let them up on the sofa when we didn't want them and they're now sitting on our edge. No, so it's really small.
Yeah.
So you need to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
You need to be on it all the time.
You know, he just darts out the back garden when I open the door. He just literally darts out, but that's fine. No.
Yeah,
no,
but this is the thing.
Yeah,
but this is the thing. It's just that. Oh, sorry, my things come out. But this is the thing. It's just that it's really important that we just say you are supported. 100%, we're there for you. Like, if you do have any issues, we will be there to support you. There's no like, oh, we've done our job, we're off skiing. No. We will back it up. We will back it up with stuff. So just know that, and know that we are so confident in our abilities as trainers. Yeah, we've been there, we've done it. And you don't need to be embarrassed or feel judged or, you know, be upset where you are or anxious or whatever, because we've been
there with big dogs. So literally you can come to us with the biggest dog, with the most reactive dog, the smallest dog. Nothing's going to fight whatsoever.
Do you remember our very first one-to-one was with that Spanish Mastiff? Do you remember?
Yeah.
So she was, can we tell the story? Because it's brilliant. So I walked over and this woman messaged us about a Spanish, so she'd got her from a rescue and that she was having trouble walking her. And I walked over and all I saw was this woman getting this huge dog out of a Mini Cooper. Do you remember? And I was like, how did she even fit in there? That's crazy. And then she come over and she had a harness on. Do you remember? And I was like, well, that's got to go. And she was pulling her around the field, weren't she?
Harness? It's like sticking a harness on a horse.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But as comical as it was, obviously now looking back, I mean, she was so stressed out about it, weren't she? She was like, oh, hello. But the thing is as well, is just that the dynamics in that household needed to change. So that's what we needed to tell her. And obviously at the end of the training, I mean, it's all there on our Facebook, but, you know, at the end of the training, she was walking absolutely brilliant, and off the wheel went with her, you know, in the Mini. And fitted her back in the Mini. I don't even know how she did it. It was brilliant. With her head hanging out, weren't she? Do you remember? So our very first experience was with a Spanish Mastiff. And, you know, I mean, you can't really get, other than I think an Irish Wolfhound maybe. I don't think there's many dogs that are bigger than that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only thing that's bigger, isn't it? Other than that, you know, looking at an elephant we're trying to train. I mean, I don't really know. Horse is the next size up.
Horse is the next size up. That's fine. We can probably train horses too, to be fair.
I don't think I'd do it. I don't think I could. I don't think I could. I'm quite frightened of horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Scott is brilliant with horses. So is Daisy. No.
Oh,
don't put me around a horse.
I have no experience whatsoever, but wherever I go, I'm like, yeah, I need to go on a ranch. I need to ride some horses.
I would love. No, I've ridden horses. I used to ride. So when I was little, I ridden horses, whatever. But Daisy, we've taken on a few lessons. But I went again. I don't know why, to Cumbria and rode this. What are they called? The Cumbrian. Clydesdales. Look them up. Two of my friends, they were like 5 foot. They had to get ladders to actually climb up on them. And and the one that I had was called McLeod. And true to form, he was stubborn, just like me. And basically, they were like, we've got 2 rules: don't walk through this way, and don't let him eat bushes. And true to form, he went where he wanted to go, and he ate the bushes. It was.
A lot energy-wise from the horses, because I know one thing. Obviously, to be around horses, they will let you know exactly where you're at. Because
But he knew where I was at. He knew I was useless. I was like this. Please don't go through the water. Okay, now we're going through the water. Please don't eat that. Oh no, he's definitely eating it. And then the person that was with us was like, sorry, did you let him eat thorns? I think it was. And I was like, no, I didn't let him. And then he had like, it was so funny because he literally out of his, you know, the mouth things they say. I don't even know what they're called. Yeah. He actually had, because I couldn't see, he had all these thorns up his fingers. I was like, oh no, I couldn't even get away with it.
Yeah, didn't they make thorns? Like, what?
No, I didn't. He just went off, and I was like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. But so
brilliant.
This girl, I know that she always rode her auntie's horses, and she'd always ride them on a regular basis. And she's got a really calm energy as a rule. And she always rode them same horses. She knew the horses very well. They knew her. She literally, we're going off on horses now, but more to the story about energy. So one day she had a really horrible breakup.
Oh no.
Not very nice at all. And she was in a really bad place. And she thought she could go on that horse to release some of that upset.
Oh gosh.
But the horse flung her off.
Oh no.
Never, ever has he ever done.
Weren't comfortable. Yeah.
He picked up on her energy, and it wasn't so. Let alone that's horses. We can learn a lot from them, but they will let you know straight away. Horses, they won't mess about. But this.
I just so you know, I don't do one-to-one with horses. I'm useless. So just so I know. No, can't do them.
Let's just stick to dogs.
I'm good with dogs. Fine.
But yeah, it's the same scenario. You know, it's dogs pick up on that, but dogs tend to be normally, not the outcome of horses where they fling you off.
Oh gosh. Well, dogs bite, but still, most dogs. To be fair, most dogs don't bite. It's the warning of a bite. To be fair, most dogs don't actually go for anything. I mean, I had a Cocker Spaniel growing up. See, this is the thing. So I had a Labrador and then I had a Cocker Spaniel because my mum didn't want a big dog. And he was the most aggressive dog we have ever owned in our lives. And he would go for your throat.
Yeah.
He weren't messing about. So he was very, very, very confused. He bit my dad's nose at the top. He weren't messing about. He bit me so bad. I had a bruise on my thigh like that. It was black. Yes. It was. He went right through to the muscle. He was awful, but it just. I'm saying all this because again, I've experienced just awful dogs, and that's what I'm saying. But the dynamics of their house was that my mum had breast cancer. My dad was in and out of work all the time. My mum was stressed out. My mum was ill. There was a lot going on. So again, with all of this going on, you can see how the dog was kind of trying to take control, going like, sort yourselves out. I can't deal with this energy anymore. And obviously getting highly strung and getting more and more aggressive as time went on. So you can understand it now.
This is, when you talk about resource guarding, on Blackwell is because we had Duke, the German Shepherd, and I don't know what. I mean, he wasn't very old. I don't think he was even 1 year old. And we thought it was my idea. I was like, right, we'd give them all their first knuckle bone, and they were in the garden. There's 3 of them. There was 3 German Shepherds. Duke was the
youngest one.
Yeah. The problem. And I said, right, don't worry, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take that bone off him. No.
Oh dear.
Went out.
Oh dear.
I literally see the ears point forward, growl.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, not having that, mate. I'm going in. So I went to go in. At this point, he's literally come at me, hammer and tongue.
Yeah.
Obviously, like now, the confidence I have now, I would have pinned him on the floor. Whether I'd have got bitten or not, I don't care. I would have dominated him. But at the time, I was like, oh my God. So I've run in. He's
run
around the garden. It was like a Benny Hill sketch, right? He ran me around the garden. I ran through the house. I had to shut the door on him, right? And I'm not kidding. I left it 10 minutes for him to calm down. I reopened the door. He's there waiting for me still.
No.
And this is why
ready.
Blackwell in. And let me tell you, it was night and day.
Yeah.
When I learned what to do and how to deal with it.
Mm.
And but what I realised is when you said don't generally bite, if I'd have just rugby tackled him, which I should have just pinned him, and he probably, he definitely wouldn't have bit me. No way. He was just warning me, like, get off.
Yeah.
So it makes me realise, no, it's like mine now.
Yeah.
Zeus with his first bone got a little bit, because I'd had training then.
Yeah.
Pinned him, took the bone away.
Yeah.
He never did it again.
Yeah. 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 Well, I said this yesterday with my dog walking clients. You know, she was really shocked. You know, so she's gone to take her. Hold on a minute, Daisy. Can you turn that down, please? Got like Encanto going on. In the background. I'm like, oh, I'm just talking about Bruno.
Not crazy frog.
Oh God, no, not this week. Please don't say that out loud. And literally, I don't think I can cope. She's probably going to go and look for that now. So I was talking about this yesterday or the day before when I'd done my live. So also my client was saying about she can't work out why he's doing what he's doing, you know, while all of a sudden. The thing is that's what I'm saying. It starts with little things that he's probably done other stuff. He's probably leading the walk. He's probably jumping up on the sofa. He's probably sleeping in the bed. Like there's a continual thing that happens before there's more stuff that is more noticeable. We can pick up on it, but some people don't pick up on it and think, oh, well, look, that's come out of nowhere. It's not come out of nowhere. There'll be a gradual sign that is showing you what's really happening with the dynamics in the house and where there's no boundaries and limitations with those dogs, where there's no rules. So I've told her to pick the food up off the floor. You know, having food available for a dog all day is just asking for problems.
Massively.
And that's
more than.
And that's purely because you should be the generator of the food. Because in the wild, the alpha pair. Sorry, I'm going back to wolves again, but that's where I've done my training. But you have the alpha pair, and the alpha pair will do the same thing. They will go out. They will then go and kill. Yes, of course, there's a pack there, but if they're not the ones that kill it, which normally they are, if they're the ones, whatever happens, they will still take that food away and they will eat their fill. Then they invite the others to share when they have finished. Then there's another hierarchy that the others will come in and then finish.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same, you'll see it all over the world, like lions, whenever there's a group, wild dogs, lions, there's always this, in the predators, there's always this hierarchy. It will be an alpha, a leader, something of that pack that will tell them, yep, you can have that. Yep, now it's your turn. So it's the same thing all over. It's no different. But the thing is just that if you had the food down the floor, you're asking for that dog. You're basically saying to that dog, you've got food, available all the time, and that then also means that dog is then not food orientated, which has then shown me on a walk today with my other dog, where she's taken the food away. He's now eating the treats that I'm giving him, whereas before he wouldn't do that. He weren't food orientated at all. And this goes back to my theory when I was saying to you, is it strange how some dogs are really food orientated and others aren't? And I was thinking, is it because those are the owners that leave the food down, and when they're coming out of us going, oh, they're not food orientated, I think, oh, that's a telltale sign for me. Right, okay. There's definitely something in it. It might not work 100% of the time, but I reckon that's there.
They're not leaving food down, they're giving them little snacks throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Toast, bit of this.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're full. They don't need that treat. But
exactly.
That's so it's best not to do it because you've got a good bargaining tool.
Oh, it's okay. My phone's saying it's overheating. That's really weird. Don't know what's going on there. That's strange.
Oh, okay. It looks like we have lost Jo, everybody. I don't know if she's going to come back into the room. I will certainly try to reconnect with her. Sorry, phone's closed the app. Okie dokie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up, guys. And you know, I hope you've enjoyed the talk that we've had, and I hope you've learned a little something from it. If you've liked the content, then please, we rely on you to like, subscribe, and share, and all of that jazz. Because by you helping us, it enables us to carry on continuing in doing what we're so passionate about. I've got my microphone. Yeah, so it enables us to do the things that we're super passionate about, which is rehabilitating dogs, helping the owners, and you know, just seeing a really fantastic, happy outcome. So yeah, give this video a like, give it a obviously not subscribe on Facebook, or I think it's follow on Facebook, isn't it? We have a YouTube channel, Canines of KB. Do go on there, pop yourself on there, subscribe to there, like on there, and just keep sharing to get our message out there. Anyway, I hope you've all had a wonderful day, Canine Crew, and we will catch up with you next time.